As counties across the state work to meet the Wednesday deadline, Senate candidates continued to campaign today ahead of the January runoff. Hope Ford joins us live from Marietta, where Democrats John Ossoff and Reverend Raphael Warnock held a meet and greet this afternoon.
Yeah, that's right. We're at the Cobb County Civic Center, which cleared out pretty quickly once the two candidates left about probably 30 minutes ago now. About 100 to 200 people did come out to hear them speak. Now, the candidates, they had very different approaches in their speeches today. Ossoff going after his opponent, Republican Senator David Perdue, while Warnock, he barely even acknowledged Republican Senator Kelly Loeffler. Now, Ossoff did get up on the stage, and when he did, he called Perdue a coward who refuses to debate him, while Warnock stepped up to the podium with more of a sermon on this Sunday. Warnock focused on health care, COVID, and the pandemic. Ossoff is saying it's time for Perdue to retire and continue to remind voters they need to get back out on January 5th. Now, we talked to both candidates after their speeches, asking what they plan to do to get those voters to return, especially since Senate runoffs tend to end with the incumbent being reelected. They say the issues themselves will be what brings said voters back out.
The Reverend and I are both speaking about issues that affect people's daily lives, their health, their prosperity. At a moment of crisis, Georgia families about to celebrate Thanksgiving be unable to do so surrounded by family. We need to chart a course out of this mess.
We're dealing with a once-in-a-century pandemic, an economic turndown that's created pain in people's lives. The people understand what's at stake. That's why they showed up and made a change on November 3rd.
Now, this event was put together by the Cobb Democratic Women Organization, and one of the members said she has spoken to similar organizations in 32 states, and all have pledged resources and support to the Ossoff and Warnock campaigns.